Hello and a very good afternoon to you. You're watching Times Now. I'm Pratibha. We're keeping our focus on the horror that unfolded mid-air on the Air India flight. The man who allegedly urinated on a co-passenger in an inebriated state has now been identified as Shekhar Mishra. The police officials have identified the passenger but are now on the lookout for him. The details of where he is not yet revealed yet. It's only been revealed that he's a businessman from Mumbai. Remember, the police officials have also revealed that the Air India has not really cooperated with the probe and did not divulge details of the passenger, the victim in the case, and also the accused in the case. Several questions are currently being asked also on how the sequence of events really followed. First up, let's talk about how it all started. Remember, the man has now been booked, but not initially. So talking about the timeline of events as they followed, this event took place on the 26th of November. So it was on the 26th of November that the incident took place on board the flight, and it was immediately after that that the woman alighted from the vehicle, and as she was brought out, the airline officials were expected to hand over the passenger to the police officials, but that did not happen. It's only now on the 4th of January that the DGCA has thought it's the land. So on landing, action should have immediately been taken. That's the first action that should have been taken. But that's not it. This is under the unruly passenger norms. Remember, the flights also have their own versions of what can be done. Of course, going to the police officials, yes, but what are the other things that they could have done? So reporting immediately after landing is one of the first things that the airline should have done. Now, and under this internal committee investigation, as well as deciding on the punishment, also extremely crucial for an internal committee to also be formed. Now, within 30 days, this committee should submit its report. So a committee that should be made by the airlines to look into the incident, what exactly happened, and then a report that needs to be filed in a time-bound manner. So that needs to be given in 30 days. So during this period, the passenger is banned from flying. Remember, it's only now that the passenger has been put on a 30-day no-fly list. But questions being raised on why stricter action was not initiated. So if the airline's internal committee does not make a report within 30 days, then the case is dropped. It is considered to be closed. In this case, there was no internal committee. In fact, there was no action that was initiated from the airline side as well. If the passenger is found guilty, then the airline can also put him on the no-fly list for a longer time. In fact, 30 is the bare minimum number of days that the passenger can be put on the no-fly list, which is why questions are being asked on Air India. The airline is supposed to also inform immediately the DGCA, which maintains a national no-fly list. The DGCA would then, of course, ask for a report on what exactly happened. Unfortunately, in this case, though the incident took place in November, it is officials making a big charge on Air India, saying they are not really responding and cooperating with the probe. More reactions also coming in of the NCW also taking cognizance of the entire incident. In fact, the NCW has now written to the Delhi Police Commissioner as well as the Airlines chairman seeking a report within the next 7 days to find out where was there a lapse. Why is it that the airlines did not initiate action against the accused in the case? Senior news editor Bhautosh Singh on the broadcast with us with the details. Bhautosh, the police officials say that the airline staff is still not cooperating with the probe despite such a horrific incident taking place mid-air. And yes, the fact that the incident took place at the end of November, and it's only now that it's come to light, only now that the DGCA has sought a report, does reek of a lot of lapses coming in from the airlines and the DGCA.
Yes, Pratibha, in fact, a systematic failure on the part of the airline, as well as one can also blame the DGCA, because if the airline had just followed the standard operating procedure, as you had explained, then the accused in this case would have been arrested way back in 26th of November, and the police would have just closed this case and even went ahead and filed the charge sheet. The very fact that airline as well as the staff had kept this entire matter under wraps clearly showed that airline was also trying to hide this matter, and later, in fact, filed a complaint only when the media highlighted this entire issue. What we are gathering from the police, even as we speak, is that police is very close to nabbing the accused in this case. As we all know, that he's a businessman based out of Mumbai. He's between 35 to 40 years old, and that he was in fact traveling in the same flight which was bound to New Delhi from New York, from JFK Airport to Delhi's International Airport, Indira Gandhi International Airport. His name came out from the passenger manifest, and when the police profiled the various passengers who were traveling in the business class as well as in the first class, they found him to be the suspect in this case, but he was not found at his residence. Police is in touch with the counterparts in Mumbai informally. That's what the police have said. They're very hopeful of catching him. The police have taken this case as a top priority. The fact that they have registered the case under various sections of IPC, including that of non-bailable, clearly shows that police means business in this, and top officers in the airport police have said they want to give an exemplary punishment to this accused so that no other person repeats such a horrible crime or at least horrible incident in the flight. And the police have said that he will be arrested and then brought here in Delhi and will be produced in the court.
Okay, all right. Bhavtosh, stay on with us. Also want to tell our viewers to call us. Viewers, call us and tell us if you have had any horror airline story. You can share your experience with us. You can also tell us if you got justice in the case or not. You can expose any kind of inaction that you face from the airline side. You can call us on the numbers that are flashing at the bottom of your screens. Talk to us about any such incident that you may have had, a similar incident or something else that you felt was a horror story on board any of the airlines. You can also call us and talk to us about what you think of the action that has been taken in the case. Remember, the passenger who allegedly urinated on a female passenger has only been put on a no-fly list for 30 days. This was the action that was initiated by the airlines. It was only later that the police officials intervened, and now criminal proceedings are being initiated against the passenger. So call us about what you think is the action that should be initiated against this man. Also want to introduce Parvez Zamania, former executive director of Kingfisher Airlines, joining us on the broadcast. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Parvez, there is a lot of outrage over the incident, and a reminder, a very grim one at that, of a similar incident that had also taken place a few years ago on board Air India flight where, very similar harrowing experience that a passenger had to go through, and we don't really know what happened to that. So, several questions. One, on the lapses of the airlines, what is it that they should have done? Why do you think they hesitated in going to the police officials and reporting an incident like this?
First and foremost, I think it's a very shocking incident, and it's terrible what happened. And I'm just completely shocked that something like that could happen in a business class on Air India on a New York-Delhi flight. I think the airline should have been more alert. The air hostesses should have informed the pilot immediately. This man should have been separated on the flight, monitored that he does not create any ruckus or any harm to any other passengers. Before landing, the pilot should have informed the ATC. ATC should have a group of BCAS people or the security people ready there to receive, to arrest this man. And the minute, they should have let all the other passengers wait, and he should have been arrested the minute the plane landed. And whatever charges were to be filed, whatever action should have been taken there and there. And a detailed report should have been made. What is shocking is how was the passenger allowed to disembark and go home and subject ended. Plus, an immediately intimation should have been gone to the DGCA and action should have been taken. It's only because the way the media has taken this story, that this whole thing exposed and come into
Right, and what's even more surprising is that, as of now, the police officials have also said that the airlines are not really responding well, are not really cooperating with the probe as well. Request you to stay on with us. We have our viewer, Colonel Ganapati, joining us on the phone line from Chennai. Thank you for joining us. Colonel, your thoughts?
Hello?
Yes.
This is Swati Bhise from New York.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that I often take that flight, and yes, the crew is never ever helpful, and he's very lucky that I wasn't on the flight when he flashed. He honestly needed his penis castrated. So that is what should be done for such people, because that is the only way that women will have any safety. So he is very lucky, this Mr. Shekhar Mishra, that I was not on that flight, because he would have had not been penniless, but penis.
But you're saying that, the staff, even in similar cases, even if not, similar cases, in incidents like this, the staff is not really responsive. They don't really take action when passengers complain. Is that what you're saying?
They do not take action. They are busy, giggling amongst themselves. There's no professionalism, and they do not take responsibility, especially when it is a woman in trouble. So you have to be very assertive, which, as you can see, I am. But there are many women who are not that assertive for obvious reasons. But I am so enraged to hear what they have done to this 70-year-old woman, and I run the Warrior Queen project. I am absolutely horrified. So I would like the airline to have not just compensation given, but women travelers have to be taken care of. And if they cannot do it, this airline should close down.
Okay, all right. Ms. Swati, thank you so much for joining us with your experience on similar flights. So here you have it, a reaction that has come in, Mr. Parvez, the caller saying that I have had similar experiences in the sense that the airline staff does not really respond when there are any issues, saying it's very unsafe for women passengers because there are several passengers who get drunk and the airline staff don't really respond to it. What would you say to that? Because airline staff, mid-air, you can't really turn to anyone else except the staff on board.
No, I heard what Swati said. Of course, that is a bit extreme, but I completely agree with her. Air hostesses should be more alert. The training needs to be brushed up again. They should be more, of course, they are trained all the time to work with unruly passengers. But this case is beyond unruly. So I think the air hostess should have been more helpful to this lady. I'm shocked what happened. If it's true, what is read is even more shocking, that no help or serious help was provided. She was given a change of clothes and she was not helped on a first class seat. She was made to sit in a crew seat and she was asked to sit in the same soil seat.
In fact, in the soil seat, she had to sit for a long time. That's one of the complaints that she made as well in the letter that she had written. I request you to stay on with us. I want to also bring in Ms. Brinda Adige, activist, on the phone line with us. Ms. Brinda Adige, this is absolutely shocking, the incident that has taken place. In fact, it looked like the case was also being kept under wraps completely. It's only now that the woman has spoken up, only now that the DGCA has asked for a probe into the incident. Questions that are being raised on the airlines, and even now the police officials say that they're not really cooperating with the probe.
If this accused is roaming around freely, going about his work like nothing has happened, then obviously the police have done nothing. The police sitting on the complaint and then filing an FIR and then saying that they want to verify the complaint. Their job, once they make an FIR, is to investigate and then to arrest the perpetrator. What is this police doing? What do they want to verify? Looks like police across India seem to be keepers and guardians of morality of women. If women make a complaint, they don't take it seriously. And if the perpetrator happens to be powerfully connected, then that's even worse. The airline staff and crew have done exactly that also. They seem to have allowed this fellow, after this incorrigible behavior inside the plane, for him continuing to sit in the business class, whereas the lady, the victim, who had to suffer all of it, relegated to some other corner. The airline staff should have actually locked this fellow up inside the toilet till they touched ground, and then handed him over immediately to the police. So the police has to take cognizance of this and also register case on the airline staff. And I think at some point, case must also be registered on the police for this delay and dereliction of duty.
Okay, so also holding the airline staff accountable for what happened. Ms. Brinda Adige, thank you for joining us. Before I come to Mr. Parvez, just want to introduce Manisha, who's joining us from California. Thank you for speaking to Times Now. Yes, Manisha.
Take Air India all the time, non-stop from SFO to Delhi.
Okay.
And I've been doing that for the last 5 years. Of course, earlier the planes were all khar, but I always used to praise the service and the food on the business class.
Okay.
But this is like, I'm actually taking a flight soon from SFO to Delhi, just in another couple of days, and this is making me feel yucks. So I think the basic thing is that alcohol should be limited. This free alcohol makes these stupid passengers lose control. I think that is one way to save this sort of a scene again. I think people should pay for the alcohol. Maybe they won't drink so much.
Okay. So you're saying alcohol intake should be regularized mid-air. Have you had any such experience in your travels where any passenger was unruly, or do you think the airline staff is responsive if you approach them with any problem?
See, I've been traveling because this is the fastest route from US to India, 16 hours non-stop. That's my main concern, that I fly Air India. The planes are khar means, of course, now Tata has taken, I'm actually looking forward that they services and airplanes. The planes have been khar, TV doesn't work and all that stuff in the business class.
Okay.